Hello, everyone. My name is Sasha. You might know me. Since I have your attention here today, I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to share some food for thought. I'm going to warn you that I'm sharing a lot about myself with you today, and you didn't exactly ask, but I hope you find it interesting. I'm just finishing up my interpersonal communication course, and we analyzed this reading by Pelias, and I think it would be interesting for everyone to internalize and apply to themselves. It's called My Body's Placement, written in 2012. But I'm not here to summarize the writing. I find that really boring. I'm here to tell you how the writing applies to me in hopes that you do the same. We're all constantly communicating, even when we think we're not, even when we're not doing anything. But in our moments of not doing, what are we doing? Where is our direction taking us? When I feel uncomfortable or out of place, my body notices before I do. I tense up, my mind gets foggy, and I forget how to function. On campus, I see invisible scripts shaping my body in many ways. I find myself taking classes later in the day and night classes to not feel so controlled by my schedule. In classrooms, my body dislikes to sit in desks all day. My placement in those chairs reveals my position as a student expected to create, absorb, and participate. It also reveals parts of my personal history, like my injured tailbone that never fully healed from 2022, or my lack of sleep because I love the night. Even before I speak in these environments, my posture shows a mix of obligation, fatigue, and effort, especially if it's a morning class. Invisible scripts also shape how I move through campus. Truthfully, I don't know myself as well as I'd like to. I used to try to make sense of everything and be a bit of a people pleaser, but I've decided to drop those behaviors entirely. I try to live by the phrase, take it or leave it. I'm someone who likes to go where the wind takes me, especially on campus, and that's a part of my embodiment. Decisions can feel irreversible to me, and I fantasize about some kind of perfect balance between freedom and commitment, which seems unrealistic. I'm constantly aiming towards self-discovery and answering all of the unanswered things that rack my brain. Like every time I walk into the music building, for example, and reserve a practice room, that's my body seeking some kind of answer in my head. Like, what can I find in my head today? What can I find outside of my head today? I rarely skip class because of how much I crave some kind of direction. In that way, my embodiment is tied to curiosity. I am a student and often a leader in small groups or discussions. I walk through campus very happily because I have the privilege of not needing to know all of the answers right away. But simultaneously, I'm proud of what I know thus far. Pelias 2012 describes privilege as something that we often move through without noticing, writing, I live in that privilege without much need for reflection, a fish in the water who simply feeds on what is available to me, and he says this on page 38. He also notes that our bodies are constantly being placed by forces beyond our conscious choosing, and that feels especially true in this moment. As I'm virtually speaking before you all today, my body is speaking just as loudly as my words, shaped by the expectations of this assignment, this room, and every decision I've made in my life which has brought me here. I did choose to share my thoughts with you and get this personal with you all today, and my interpersonal communications class prompted me to think so deeply about my own existence. I'm grateful you are all here today, and hopefully this can get you thinking about your own existence. I find that we are not always conscious of how much of an impact invisible scripts make on our lives, as well as how impactful we are as individuals, and I want this to be your sign. I want what I'm saying to be like a reminder that you are alive. An act I want to implement more consciously is being present. For me, open embodiment means breathing, unclenching my jaw, and giving myself permission to take my time. My brain works fast, and my body follows by tightening up. In these situations, I can remind myself that I am safe, exhale, and give myself permission to be. I also want to acknowledge that me being white, and oftentimes me being a woman, gives me the privilege to loosen up in public spaces without worrying constantly about how I am perceived. That privilege allows me to practice openness in ways not everyone can. I'm most unbalanced at work, even if nothing is going on, during exams in a quiet room or right before assignments are due. Right before a due date, I start completing every task except for the assignment, cleaning my room, working out, meal prepping, which I never do, and answering texts, which I also don't do. These tasks are all done thoroughly with care while the actual assignment is done in a rushed, panicked, and often multitasked manner. Depending on who I'm talking to, my ability to listen can be highly improved or worsened by my embodiment. If I am speaking to a professor or an elder, it is important to me that I reflect my personal belief of high power distance. I don't want any ego to repel from me in an interaction with someone I respect or someone who is educating me. But with peers, friends, or people my age, I intentionally relax. I let myself be imperfect and casual because I find that helps me listen better. When the environment feels equal and safe, being myself makes me more present. I've been lucky enough to experience that people are often accepting of my true and authentic self and how I act. When they're not accepting, I find the disconnect oddly fun, depending on the situation. Right now, in time and space, my embodiment is almost ideal. I'm an able bodied 20-year-old whose size is usually accommodated and I can navigate public spaces with ease. I actually did not always have this privilege, but today I relate to Pelias when he writes, I tell my body what to do, and most of the time it listens. He wrote this in 2012 on pages 47 to 48. Overall, our bodies are constantly communicating. Everywhere we go, we are never not communicating. I think noticing our nonverbal and verbal communication can help us rewrite ourselves, keep what truly serves us, disqualify what doesn't, and further evolve. For me, being present and recognizing that nothing lasts forever is where I want to expand my embodiment. I'm so grateful to be in this position in front of you all today, and I have no idea where my journey is going to take me. I challenge you to think about your internal scripts, body language, and personal history, kind of like I have shared mine with you today. I hope I didn't overshare too much. Your body's placement doesn't just change the physical position of your body or how you look. It changes how you show up every day in the world, your world, and whether you are conscious of it. Again, I hope this resonated. Sorry if it didn't. And I had a great quarter with you all. Peace.